about 12 questions. And what I've done is I've printed these out. I put it in front of you. You don't have to look at it now. Look at it later. But what I want to do is, what's a signage expert and what is signage? And I want to give you a definition to start out with. Signage is a system term which identifies multiple types of signs and identification information, and is broad enough to cover all types of signs, trademarks, or accent components. As you know, I do a lot of signs, a lot of different things. Well, I do specialize. I specialize more in lighted signs and monuments. I particularly like to stay where I'm not spread too thin. But what I want to do this morning, I want to relate to you some of the experiences that I've had recently for people that have not paid attention to this. Well, unfortunately, they never had it. I used it as a guideline for my interviews. And if I have a first-time client, I will email this list to them, and it gives them a lot of insight. Let me relate to you some information that has come out of it. Dr. K had gotten a proposal and was ready to sign when she was referred to me. Her expectations totally changed by the time I found not only was the sign the wrong size for the city code, but the landlord would not approve the design. So with two problems to address, we verified code and redesign. The landlord is out of town, and they had their own ideas of what they wanted. That's a problem sometimes in itself. Problems, too many letters and not enough space. We used a combination of channel letters and an accessory box to maximize the full name. She secured the permit and the sign is in production. But if I hadn't caught her when she did, items number 1 and number 2 on that list were going to cause her problems. Yesterday I got a call from Diane about a tenant that wanted to install a wooden sign on the property. Did this sign need to be permitted? Item 4, yes. But guess what? They already have a sign on the property, so a second sign is not going to be allowed. If that person had the sign produced and put it up, fines are sometimes significant. I got a call 2 weeks ago from Margot. Margot's a classic. I put her sign up 2 years ago. She's now moving to a new location by February the 15th. Bought a new building. We found that she could have signs on both sides of her building, not only the one that I built years back that could be moved to the new location, but that she could also have a sign on the other side. So moving the signs is not a problem, and building a new one is not a problem. I applied for the sign permit, but I found she had not changed her business license to the new location. She had also not secured a tenant name change, another problem. She had not planned on the electrical power for the signs. Well, she did that because I told her that to start with. But the poor planning is delaying that opening by at least 2 weeks. Item 4 and item 8. That list. Now, she had that from 2 years back, but like I say, Margot's a classic. Another client had the sign conversion design, and had even gotten a permit for the change out to the bigger sign and more up to date. However, the idea looked great on paper, but an on-site survey revealed that the existing structure would not support the added top unit. Interesting thing is, I didn't think you could even get a permit, but they did, and they already had it done. We have to remove the whole unit and reconstruct the infrastructure to handle the extra weight. A banner was recommended to be installed when the sign was down. However, no one knew the other tenant was redesigning the new logo and not ready for production. If we'd had known beforehand, it would have saved the other tenant the cost of another trip to change out the new sign faces when it's done. Item 11. A salon ordered a new sign for a build-out of a new space back in September. The permit was secured, the sign was built, put on hold for 6 weeks because the electrician hadn't finished. We were called in to hook up the sign. We installed it, we hooked it up to the box we were told to hook it up to. The sign lit up okay. Within 2 weeks, I had service call that it was not lighting. Thank you. Upon meeting the electrician, we determined that he had changed the circuit and that had wired the sign to a different circuit. When he did that, The sign didn't light up, by the way. So what was his thought? That's a problem with the sign. Well, one thing he did not know that is when you're checking a light sign, particularly one with a white face on a daylight, you better flip a switch on and off, and you can't tell whether it's lit or not. Ideas. But it can, if someone knows, could save a lot of money on an unnecessary service call. I recommended a photo cell also for power saving. This is just a few examples that can happen without the experienced specialist brought in on the front side of a project. I've used the 12 questions early on, simply by emailing my list to the client upon first contact. The sign business is so much fun when you know what to look for and can head off the problems before they start. There's one thing I've learned in 30 plus years experience, actually 33 now, that confidence is everything. A good sign guy says, I screwed up. The best sign guy says, I can unscrew it before it happens. I have listed, besides the 12 steps, just for your information, I've put on the back of that who my clients are, who my contacts I'm looking for, my gate openers, a wide range. I've asked many questions. It's just not a matter of spreading it all over. But if you look for these people on these things and you see who I've done business with, it's going to help in the long range for everybody, particularly Bill Parker with Rockwood Signs, because we are lighting up Atlanta.
Thank you, Bill. That was awesome.